Red Link. That's a long time. Thanks for starting us off this morning. Appreciate the almost 6.5 years. So we're coming along for Pocket and everything else in between since then. Alright, if I open 3 packs a day between now and when's the next set? The 26th is 2 weeks from today. So that's 14. 3 times 14 is 42. 42 times 5 is like 210. So I'm only gonna have like 900-ish pack points for this set by the time the next set releases. Man, is this what normal people feel like? It's actually just impossible to get 2 stars you want. That's so many pack points away. Welcome to the other side of the tracks. I don't know. I can't believe people live here. Thanks for the fun times, but I've been enjoying Snap, Pocket, and Dark Legion. Excited to see what you do as time goes on. Thanks for the 13 months, comics. Really appreciate that generous tier 2. Welcome back. Good morning. Oh, we have a Wonder Pick event going on. I love blunder picking, chat. It's my favorite. Everybody loves blunder picks. We're starting to approach months as the unit of time since I saw a 2-star in my Wonder Picks. It's been a while. She did not Megan. I didn't put that together yet for her. Complete all of these. Dragon Lord, thank you for the 5 months. Welcome back. When does the solo event end? It's relatively soonish, yeah? To end on the 14th? The 14th at 1 a.m. my time, so it's like... Tonight is the 13th, so like a day and a half? Yeah, Saturday AM. Alright, we're gonna play more Arceus Crobat. I don't know if this deck is good, but... It sparked some amount of joy yesterday, so we'll see if we can run it back. Omega, thank you for the 11 months. Appreciate it. I did pick up a second Celesteela full art. I'm experiencing solo event paid 34 wins in, not a single Dawnwing. Yeah, sometimes that's how it be. Speaking of that's how it be, Arceus into Nihilego. Sounds good for our hero. think I'm just charging this up. Might also put second Arceus out on the bench. Less sad to have let on this when I'm staring down the barrel of this for sure. %66% to be a baby bat, and we found one. So I take 30, I go to 90. Seems like a not great spot for them. You could top deck a Guzzlord, I suppose, and have a Lucamine in hand. Guzz plus Lucamine is our lose condition here, I think. I'm gonna give him the bat, because if I draw a big bat, it retreats for free. Hey chat, that could be anything, even a big bat. Poor Guzzlord. Struggling to be meta relevant, cues into someone playing Arceus. Feel your pain on that one, gamer. It's a good reminder for every time you get a polarized matchup, there's someone else out there getting the opposite. People always complain about deck-based matchmaking conspiracy theories in games like this because they'll get a bad matchup. It's like, well, if you're getting a bad matchup, someone else is getting a good matchup, so yeah. Hey Jeff, I've been enjoying the mix of Pocket in the morning and Snap in the afternoon. Good. Breaks the day up a little bit for sure. Alright, we just need a piece of candy to be thoroughly aggressive here. In fact, if we find the candy, we can clear this before it evolves, yeah? Ooh. Okay, and then with that energy there, they're just absolutely cooked, yeah? How do they they're down in energy. I have assembled Tron. I have my three Tron pieces plus an Urza plus a card. Just run them down. Good night, Charmander. I suppose, if they evolve this turn, they can't attack with it, but it lives, and then it can kill this next turn with a supporter. We have a lot of draws and assembling second Crobat. You know, is it crazy to put the energy on Shinnok? That's probably crazy. You know what the line is here? The line is energy, retreat this, tap them for 30, and then we let them kill this, and then this comes up and finishes. Although maybe I should feed them the Shinnok instead of the Zubat, since I have a second Shinnok lined up in hand. That's really my line is right. It's right to retreat the Crobat, but I should be putting the mushroom up, I think, instead of this. Golbat! Golbat! So I'm definitely doing this. And then if I hit them for 50, they go down to 100. And if they Lily, they go up to 160. And then second Crobat plus Arceus hit finishes them, yeah? I'm guaranteed to have my other Crobat next turn, thanks to Shinnok. I guess they could Red Card or Mars me, and then I wouldn't be guaranteed, but we'd still be likely. Because we could both draw it off the redraw and have Shinnok as another one. So they need Cape plus Lily to not be dead to Arceus plus Crobat here. And this is why this is the deck I've been enjoying the most, probably. There's a lot of the back and forth and switching. We're still a rare candy deck, which can be a little cheesy, but the games where we're not cheesing, there's maneuvering. I love me a good free retreat cost. Wow, they had to retreat themselves, speaking of. I mean, they're still just cooked here, yeah? Yeah. Another sweet game. Good start to the day, making some clean choices. Quick second, so we're not just dead to this dork, but definitely not one of our best openers. Okay, I would like an Arceus and a Baby Bat, please. Neither. Oof. think I put Zubat up here because this way, if I draw Shinnoktic, I can redraw towards Crobat. There's a combination of cards in my deck that wins the game this turn. That is not one of them. This hits a Crobat though. We're in an okay spot. Okay. If they don't have Geo, they can't kill this in one. Which would be ideal. Oh, it gives us less draws towards Arceus. It's unfortunate. If we top deck an Arceus this turn, we're actually in a decent spot. But if we miss, I think we're cooked. Rip. Exacto. Thanks for the 2 years. Welcome back. Maybe they don't have Candy Charizard, chat. We've had one of our worst draws possible. Maybe our stage 2 opponent doesn't have Candy. Two Silvallies are in a row. Did I miss something in the meta? You missed the meta report where I talked about Charizard Silvally being the most popular Charizard variation. I want to make sure you don't miss that on Mondays. I always think it's amusing to me how different the average other card gamer frames things. Because, like, someone asked about the Charizard Silvally deck, and my reaction was to point out that it's the most popular Charizard deck, and someone else's reaction is to point out that it took exactly first in a specific tournament. That is something very consistent across all card games, is greater card game communities really seem to overvalue having or hitting exactly first or top 8 or whatever. There's so much variance that goes into those final rounds of tournaments. You really should not put significantly more weight on them. I thought it was interesting that a deck with an overall 46% win rate took first. It's not really interesting at all. It's pretty average and expected a lot of the time. I think I'm just building Arceus here. That's close though. It's not great against Rampardos. Any reasonable deck can win a tournament. Any unreasonable deck can win a tournament. Card games have an incredible amount of variance in them. This deck's Rampardos matchup is very bad. I think this one's probably pretty close to unwinnable if we're not cheesing them. Which is nice that this deck has been on the down tick. Card gamers regularly accept that a good player with a good deck can hit bad beats and do poorly in a tournament, but the inverse of that is true as well. Bad decks can hit good beats to do well in tournaments. It's like, even to use a Pokemon Pocket specific example, one of the first major tournaments after the Mythical Island expansion dropped, that Golem deck took exactly first, and there was so much terrible clickbait that was basically, a lot of it pushed towards the territory of outright lies. And that deck very appropriately was torched and had miserable performances and everything after, because it wasn't good despite getting exactly first. Arceus lead is never particularly exciting. Alima makes it a little bit less bad. You played TCGs other than Magic? I played a bunch of paper Pokemon once upon a time. Oh, you know what? Maybe I was supposed to put the energy on Morlul in case I draw Shinnok. Although I probably want Arceus to take 2 hits before I Alima it. I think this is a matchup where we probably want to stall a little. I think I'm gonna let this just take one more hit here. I think I want to draw another card out of my deck before I reset this. I'm basically just like using Alima as a double time walk here. We're gonna start powering up Arceus, but with the Oricorio in the background, these two are probably gonna have to be the ones that do the lifting for us here. We have effectively, what? Like 5 copies of Crobat in the deck. We have 2 Morluls, a Research, and then the actual Crobats themselves. Honestly, Shinnok into Crobat's the best draw, so that way I can finish this with Shinnok to not lose the Crobat. This then's a basic. Okay, and then this is... I don't know. Fairly likely to get us a Crobat, so it won't. Such a bad beat. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna switch this out. How likely was that to get us a Crobat there? There was Shinnok, a Zubat, and 2 Crobats in my deck, so it was 50%. So we lost a coin flip. So the plan here is put this up and let it take a hit for a turn. Man, and I needed that to be the Zubat so I could have double Crobat next turn. So I think the game plan here is we go Crobat. I'm gonna go ahead and Cyrus up this. And then clear it with this so we take our point. This was another 50-50 we lost, right? Like, it was exactly Zubat Crobat in our deck. Oh. So they clear this, we put up this, we clear this, and then we have Crobat ready to clear Oricorio and Arceus ready to clear Soul Valley. None of the cards in my hand matter here. Also my deck is tiny, right? I guess they just needed the supporter. I guess this stops me from setting up second Crobat, huh? Dead to Cyrus. But otherwise okay. Pretty happy with our maneuvering here. They typically play one of those, I believe. Survey says if they have Sabrina, I need to top deck my Leaf. Giovanni doesn't do it, gamer. You're cooked. Imagine if their Mars had been a Cyrus, they'd get to win this game. Instead of being dead. Alright, we're gonna take a pause for the cause to let a few adverts roll. We're gonna see how far Crobat can take us this morning. Methinks I'll throw the deck list we're jamming up here on the screen. Appreciate everybody that's here bright and early. Don't go anywhere, Pokemon gamers. If you're watching this on YouTube, consider tapping the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps the content reach some more people. Shout out to the 81 folks that did that already this morning. Oh, we're gonna stand up. Stretch the old legs. Mix a little drink up, methinks. Just got a tub of this cherry apple. It's very, very good. It's slowly creeping up on blue raspberry for my favorite. Easily number 2. I only have 1 gold Pokeball. Can I play this deck? The better question is, can you stomach playing any deck with only 1 gold Pokeball? That's a question. That's a question you'll have to look inward and reflect on to answer. I like this deck. It looks pretty solid. Yeah, a couple of people suggested this yesterday. I've been having a good time with it. Really pretty solid mix of cards. I think I'm happy with every slot in it. The Alima Leaf Split has been superb. I think I can flare one of these more lulls. Let me check. We played this enough that I feel like we should. Yeah, I can flare one. I'll have to keep an eye out for another one of these in blunder picks. I do enjoy me circles. I'm 300 pack points away from my third gold Pokeball. Why would you want a third? You know you can't flare them, right? Oh, second. Okay. Second's much better. Well, these are only one per for Shinnoktic. Coolio. So I can flare both these. I like the circle. Take two of those. Should we give the deck a name? Maybe I'll think about giving it a name. Inhuman Rabbit, thank you for the 40 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. What do you think of the current grind master? I think Pokemon Pocket has the longest ranked grind of any digital card game I've ever experienced. I think there's a very real chance that I don't end up getting all the way to Master Ball over the next couple of weeks. We'll see though. I suppose I don't know that I'm gonna be brewing that much more in this metagame. So if we stop brewing and mostly play decks like this that I like that are good, you might be able to sneak up in there still. I made Ultra Ball 1 for the 5th time today and decided I'm done with ranked this season. Absolutely a smart choice. The number one thing to remember is that the US dollar value and extra currency you get between being Ultra 1 and being being Master Ball is like $2 worth of currency. So if you aren't having fun with it, you absolutely should not be grinding it. Oh, you know what? I messed up. Oh, they have candy, so maybe I didn't mess up. Oh, it's Incineroar candy. I think I should have put my energy here. Or here last turn. I think I want to keep this around to draw cards. I should have put the energy on here last turn, so this way I could have cleared the Charmander this turn with the Crobat attack. Because now it gets to live. So I put the energy on the Arceus. So let's draw a Pokemon. this here. I'm gonna put this here, I think. I'm gonna switch to Shinnok. And crack them for 30. Yeah, missing on the Zubat here is really unfortunate with the Candy Crobat in hand. If they just Fire Fang me here, though, I need to find a basic. If I find a basic, the Arceus clears this, and then we're in an okay spot. And I have a draw plus a Shinnok trigger to draw a basic. Does the Golbat draw me this is guaranteed to get me a basic? I think it does, yeah. Crobat, Arceus are the only ones left in my deck. God, that's so unlucky that I keep missing on this stupid thing. I have to play it out, right? Because I'm not doing enough damage to clear this otherwise. That's so frustrating. I just lost every coin flip with this deck today. We might still be in any spot. If they have Charizard Lily, they could get us here. That bodes well for the home team. They should be cooked once they do that, yeah? Yeah, cool. Got a gold Black Crackle Victoria hand. Nice. Someone asked what changes were coming in the end of the season. At the end of this season, we're getting win streak bonuses in Ultra and Masters, and at the end of next season, we'll get rank floors. Rockruff? There's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Arceus? This is a fairly ideal opener. Just need a Crobat and a Candy and we'll call it a party. If they have their own Candy Rampardos, they could get us here. Our deck is definitely not well equipped to fight into Rampardos. So now because I want to maximize my chance to find Crobat, I actually want to research before I Shinnok, because if this draws any non-Crobat Pokemon, Shinnok is more likely to find Crobat. And this is exactly right? Like, we pulled out 2 non-Crobat Pokemon. So now, this is 66% to get Crobat here, yeah? There's 2 Crobats and a Golbat in my deck. Oh my goodness, we didn't miss on a variance flip for the first time today. It's exciting. That's exciting. Give him the Fang. Okay, and if they have Candy Rampardos, we'll need to find Golbat next turn. Okay. They did put the other Shinnoctic and what's it called back into our deck though, so this is not guaranteed to find us Crobat. Interesting that they must have communicated. It was interesting they Pokeballed after the communication, but they must have communicated their only target for the Pokeball back into the deck. Will you stream Legend ZA later this year? No, I don't do mainline Pokemon games. I will, however, dip into Pokemon Champions when that releases likely early next year. That's what I'm looking forward to. Ooh, Silvally Rampardos daring today, aren't we? Passimidian! I take it back. We are in fact actually daring. I'm supposed to be the hero of this story, chat. Fighting against Passimidian, I am not the hero. I just need a Crobat in our next few, huh? We've got a Draw Step, a Professor's Research, and then possibly a Shinnoctic activation to dig for this Crobat. Passimidian as a lead in a traditional fighting deck's an interesting choice. Giving up 2 knockout points to start feels like a tough sell. I want to research before I Shinnoctic here, because again, the only thing I care about drawing is Crobat. So I want to thin extra non-Crobat Pokemon out of my deck before I activate Shinnoctic. Because every non-Crobat Pokemon I draw to my deck before I Shinnoctic makes Crobat more likely to be the draw here. Unfortunate. I think I'm retreating. Have a mushroom to deflate. Oh, did I mess up? I have Elima. I'm so dumb. I have Elima. I should have given them the Arceus. This one's staring me in the face here. I missed the 66%er. God, I missed the 66%er. My goodness. Well, the good news is I'm deeply unlucky, so it doesn't matter that I messed up. Oh, I say 66. I was at 50%, all right? And now I've been red carded, which means I can't delete them. So we were in fact thoroughly punished for the mistake. Although it's possible if I put the Arceus up when they Sabrina me, they red card me last turn. Good Greavy. I think we're probably dead. Yeah, we definitely would be in a better spot if I had not given up the second Zubat, though. Oh, Golbat's weak to fighting. It totally is. Alright, I'll take a mulligan and a few slops that game. Turns out when you're deeply unlucky, you can't also make a bunch of mistakes. You gotta play well to make up for bad beats. Loopy! Thanks for the 21, bud. Hope life's treating you alright. Golbat being weak to fighting makes my head spin. It is a little bit of a head scratcher, yeah. Metal energy here. Average metal deck is Solgaleo Shinnok. Hopefully, it's that and not a Skarmory that's about to eat my baby bat. Hate everything. I hate everything about everything. I'm wearing the perfect shirt for my wake up sheeple. The truth is out there bit. Hopefully they have Rocky Helmet, so that way my Crobat can clear the Skarmory in one. Poison Barb, also acceptable. Oh, I was just about to say it's nice that they're down to one card here, but the last card is Research. Okay, there's an Arceus. So if I find Crobat this turn, I can activate it? Oh, man. But I think with them having first energy advantage and dust bricking here, that probably means we're done. Because honestly, even if I have the Crobat, I'm not getting through the Solgaleo at this point, yeah. That's a matchup that we can win with first energy advantage, I think, but when they have Tron and first energy, we're just cooked. We lead on the bat with the candy in hand. If you considered an ad hoc correction to your deck to only make it better into the deck you just lost to. Gamers. I appreciate the phrasing of that question. Alright, there's the Celesteela. Do they have the Kartana as well? They do not. A lot of bugs over there. Oh. I suppose with this Golbat dying, I should play the other Morlul out to the bench. So I can change Shinnoctic into Shinnoctic. This was a small mistake. Alright, we just need to research into Arceus Crobat, and then we'll be good to go. Give up this one. We are not going to be able to beat a Lucamine. We can play like they don't have it and hope for the best. That still dies to Arceus Bat. Oh, then we are just dead to a Lucamine, but we might just be dead either way. I guess if I draw Arceus, Arceus can take a Buzzwole hit for a turn. This is guaranteed to be Arceus, yeah? Alright. I'm not dead on board. I'm dead to a variety of cards they're realistically playing, but not dead on board. Both Cyrus, Lucamine, and Sabrina are all cards we are unable to contend with here. GG, opponent. What a fucking chode. I went to concede. I was like, no, it's probably quicker to just let them click their button. But never in a million years has a gamer ever actually just clicked the button to win the game without taking every other possible action they could possibly be taking simultaneously. What's been my favorite deck this set? Probably this one, honestly. I've kind of struggled to find something I really like playing. The play patterns from this expansion haven't been particularly compelling. Rare Candy's been a tough one for Pocket in general. I really wish they would have waited to go to that level of power creep. In any card game, there's always going to be cards you can't beat, like that last one where we couldn't beat Lucamine or Sabrina or Cyrus, but the addition of Rare Candy to the game has made cards I can't beat start to happen on, like, the second turn of the game, as opposed to, like, on turn 8 or 9. I feel like Pocket's creeping into that. The bigger the card pool, the fewer cards there are that are playable stage. Yeah, I think that's unfortunately a little bit accurate. It's funny. I remember there was a content creator who is newer to card game content that's been making Pocket stuff. And they commented in one of their videos during the Mythical Island expansion that it was something along the lines of, balance isn't good right now, but the balance in these games will get better as they release more cards. And I was just like, oh my sweet summer child. The awakening that you are in for. It could, big first time meme, yeah. Do I retreat this Morlul to make Shinnoctic be a live draw still? Or do I keep both Zubats? I think they're gonna leaf out next turn. It's so close. Ooh, no leaf is really good for us. Rewarded for not aggressively using my leaf. For people who aren't familiar with me, because I know Pocket has brought in some new audience here. I've been playing card games for a couple of decades now. I played Magic the Gathering very competitively for a number of years, top-8ed dozens of tournaments with hundreds and in some cases even thousands of players. This is very far from my first rodeo, so to speak. Do I want to take a knockout here? I kind of like getting rid of their... I kind of like getting rid of their Lucamine target. So, I technically held the title for most SCG Open top 8s without a win. But the asterisk next to that is I took first in a couple of tournaments that had like 200 and 300 players in them, which were bigger than some of the earlier SCG Opens that existed. United Brain Buddies, only if they have red, which is kind of unlikely. Red's not super common in their deck. Yeah, the SCG tour doesn't exist anymore, is accurate. How do we feel about Illimaing here? I think I'm kind of into it, because I need the Arceus. I need the Arceus. So I think the play is throw this up to put it under the bus. And then I'll put an energy here. And then we can chew this out with the Crobat and then eventually finish on the Arceus into the Sil Valley. Always put the free retreat cost Pokemon up. It reserves our right to change our mind later. What do we think of cutting, linking, but not attacking this turn? So that way, by the time they clear me, I have energy on Arceus. And not attacking this turn means if I top deck Candy next turn, I can clear this without taking the Rocky Helmet hit. I think I'm into that. Yeah, Giovanni's a potentially scary hit here. It's a shame I don't have my other Morlul. Yeah, if they Geo me, I'm a little bit sad. Lucamine doesn't do it. And they didn't have Geo last turn, so I think it's probably safe to assume they don't have it this turn, right? Do I could Cunning Link and just retreat and put up Zubat. I think Cyrus is more likely than Geo, though, yeah? Agree or disagree? Retreating dies to Cyrus, and attacking loses to Geo. And they've showed us they haven't had Geo up until this point. No, I think retreating is bad because they've had other opportunities for Geo to be good and they haven't played it. So I think Cyrus is more likely than Giovanni in this instance, so I'm going to choose to play around Cyrus. And obviously they could top deck it, or they could have been sandbagging it, but I think based on their play patterns so far, I'm going to assume they don't have the Geo. This deck generates such close, interesting games. It's definitely my favorite thing this season. Just so many good choices and reads to make. Other than the supporter cards, are any genetic Apex cards even still relevant? You know, I was thinking I should sit down and do an updated EX tier list for where we're at in the season. Maybe I'll work on that tonight. Let's throw the deck list on the screen. We're gonna take a pause for the cause to let some adverts roll. If you're new here, I always take a brief break from gameplay and put the deck list up rather than having ads disrupt them. We'll see you in a couple of minutes, Twitchers. If you're watching on YouTube, consider tapping the like button. It doesn't cost you anything and helps the content reach some more people. Appreciate the almost 200 folks that have done that this morning. Greninja as a call out for still being playable is a good one, but I think that honestly might be it. Yeah, like there really aren't any others that are showing up in any competitive capacity. Marowak's always been S tier, just always hit heads. That's true, you know. 160 for 2 is a good rate. Just make sure not to miss. Something Gengar EX. Unironically, Bother Gengar is fine, yeah. GA Magneton. Yeah, I guess Magnezone pops up on occasion still too. Farfetch. There aren't any competitive Farfetch decks right now, yeah? As one of Pocket's premier duck enjoyers, that card's pretty much been pushed out, yeah? I feel like if there was a Farfetch deck, it would be on my list of things I would enjoy, yeah? Oh yeah, that's fair. Our Golbat here is technically from the first set. Kartana is basically Farfetch. That's not true. Kartana wears a grass cape, and Kartana gets switched in with a Celesteela. It's much better than Duck. An opposing darkness energy. Darkrai! That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. look at all of our friends. All right, I would like to draw Shinnoktik into Fish Up Crobat next turn for taking request deck. So, and this is a good thing to talk about because a lot of people just never seem to understand this. When I talk about a card being playable or not or meta relevant, that's not me saying you can't have success and win games with it. So just being like, but Jeff, someone made it to Masters with card XYZ. That's not relevant to what we're really talking about here. You could get to Masters with basically anything. I think I'm gonna evolve the lead one here and just hit them once we top decked it. Card games have an incredible amount of variance, and good players can carry mediocre decks. So yes, if your only measure of is this playable is can I take a deck and play it for 40 hours to Masters, there's probably a ton of early series cards that could do that. When I talk about a card being playable, I'm talking about it putting up reasonable results in larger sample sizes and being things that you're actually running into with some consistency. And there really aren't any cards from the first expansion that are really doing that. Even things like Greninja aren't that popular right now, yeah? I really appreciate the double down here. And by appreciate, I mean it's so eye-roll inducing and annoying. Please get help, Twitch chatter. Greninja Ori is still really strong in this metagame. Literally none of the public-facing data we have agrees with that claim. And I get it. You have your feels at home and you didn't arrive at your opinion based on a logical number. So like what I say doesn't matter here because I'm not gonna logic someone out of position they didn't logic themselves into. But like, again, these things do not fit the definition I am giving you, which is things that are better relevant because they're being played in tournaments and finding tournament success, or even anecdotally on the... I can't... we've been playing Pocket for 2 to 3 hours a day every day this week. I don't think I've played against a single Mewtwo or Magneton. Okay, so they can't attack with this because it doesn't have another Psychic, and I'm killing this turn, so I'm not quite sure what their plan is here. Feels like they're cooked. The problem with some card gamers, myself included, is that sometimes it's hard to understand or even find the data. Gosh, if only there was someone who took an incredible amount of time out of his weekend to coalesce data and put together detailed, easy to understand meta reports highlighting what are the most popular decks and how they're performing. Man, that sounds like it would make a pretty good series of YouTube videos. Maybe I'll think about doing that in the future. I'd subscribe to that person. God bless. That person sounds smart and thin, don't they? Okay, so they're just, like, absolutely cooked here, yeah? I'm gonna hit them for 100, and then they're gonna deal 20 to themselves, then my Arceus is gonna clean up after. I suppose the downside here is they could retreat and then my Crobat dies to poison. Am I supposed to retreat here? Oh, I have the Cyrus. Yeah, that's fair. Alright, I guess having the Cyrus means we just hit them. Yeah, and if they retreat, they have almost... Well, they would be able to retreat and then also bellow on it again to have energy. Do. Hey, Pony, thank you for the 21 months. Appreciate that. Welcome back. Alright, first energy advantage here against Buzz, but Morlul's not our ideal opener. I have Leaf to shuffle it out, though, I suppose. Got me. No longer have my Leaf. Rats. Putting Retreat 4 on Celesteela is funny to me. I mean, putting Retreat 4 on Celesteela does a good job of making it really obvious to people who are weaker deck builders or newer to card games, however you want to phrase it, that you need to be playing this card in a way to activate its thrusters. It makes the parasitic deck building aspect of it more apparent. Well, our draw's real mid, but if they don't have a Buzzwole, we could be okay. Are the Pokemons? They're alright. I like this. I like this deck that we're playing. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, so I assume they're gonna clear more lull for 20 and then tap Arceus for 20. It'll also be relevant when if we ever get a way to shut off Pokemon abilities. I assume shutting off Pokemon abilities is a when, not an if. It is a type of effect that paper Pokemon has readily available, and I assume all those types of effects will make their way into Pocket here before long. Alright, I just need all their Buzzwoles to be in their bottom 4 cards. Lucamine plus a coin flip kills us. Alright, need Shinnoctic so I can fill my bench up. Hook-a-dook. The Moon Buffoon would never knock out my Arceus, chat. That would just be rude. It would just be rude and wrong for them to flip heads. They would never dream of it. Never dare. They're gonna flip tails. We're gonna draw a basic. It's gonna be a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A wonderful day for a neighbor. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? Do 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 do. It's not just basics that are lethal draws here. What's it called? Crobat. Crobat is also lethal. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 basics, a Pokeball, 2 research, 2 Crobat, and then Shinnoctic are redraws. So 9 out of 11 cards here. Oh, now I need exactly Crobat. I need exactly Crobat to beat the Buzzwole. All right, that could be it. And Shinnoctic's a redraw here, so 4 out of 10 with 2 hits. That'll do, pig. That'll do. What a yummy piece of candy. Thanks for the daily deck highlights. I've been struggling to find a deck I like to climb. You're not alone, Grukachu. The Zera deck from today and this Crobat deck have been my 2 favorite things to climb with for sure. Ooh. Alright, this is an Arceus every time, assuredly, yes? Arceus every time here, yes? I am actually going to wait to play this Pokeball. Because if I draw a non-Arceus basic next turn, it makes this Pokeball more likely to draw Arceus. And if I hit Arceus, I'm so far ahead, I just want to maximize my chance to draw it. Shinnoctic could also draw us the non-Arceus basic. Yeah, so we'll do this. Go digging. Yep. Okay, so this is 66% to fight Arceus now. Love it. I love it when a plan comes together, gamers. Oh, no need for Arceus are at 50. You're super right, aren't you? Aren't you, gamer? Good call. Forgot they tapped themselves. Just tap it in. Tap, tap, tap it in. And then the game plan here, if they have candy, is we'll pivot back into the Shinnok. No candy. No candy. Ooh, and they gave us a candy? Oh, that's exciting. All right, how many non-Crobats are in my deck? There's the Shinnok evolutions, a Golbat, and Arceus. We're only 20% to get our second Crobat here. It was a very good Iodo for them as well, huh? So, I think I actually still pivot to Shinnok here, yeah? I think it's still just put this up, let this take a hit, so that way I can 60 them again next turn. Because they'll take this, take their first point. I'll 60 them, put second energy on here. They'll clear this, and then Arceus will be ready to move to the front of the class. Yeah, so this lets us play through as much healing as possible while also charging the Arceus still. Am I killing them through a second Lily now? Because I'm putting them to 70. Yeah, they're dead. They're dead. Even Lily plus Cape isn't enough, yeah? Because we have all the basics. Now we retreat to Shroom. No, I want to hit them for 50, and then the Arceus finishes next turn. I guess retreating kind of also works. It means I get an extra 30 on the Cunning Link next turn. I don't think it matters. If you get to Ultra 4, can you fall back to Ultra 3? Absolutely. In fact, honestly, I'm kind of debating whether or not I try and push past Ultra 4 this season. I genuinely don't know if I want to grind all of the same deck through all of Ultra 4 on stream. And I might, we're close, so we're definitely gonna push for it, but I don't know that I'm gonna push past it. I might just make that my stopping point. I would love to be a fly on the wall in the meetings where they talk about player retention and how much people actually play this game post-ranked. Because to give an anecdotal example, my wife opens her 2 or 3 packs a day. She buys the premium pass, so she opens 3 packs a day, enjoys the collecting aspect of this game. And when they used to do the Emblem PvP events, she completed every single one of the Emblem PvP events. And since they added ranked, I think she got to Ultra 1 the first season and hasn't played a game since. And obviously that's just one data point. But I would be desperately curious to know how many other people are like that as well. I kind of missed the emblem events. Yeah, unironically, I talked. I mean, if people have been here a while, know I was a big proponent of it not having ranked in this game. We were super cooked here. I thought I was super happy when they launched this game and the emblem events were the types of PvP they were doing. I thought that was a much healthier way for people to engage with the game. The ranked burnout is real. The events were so chill, they gave you plenty of time to hit the requirements. Yeah, Marty. That's a good point, honestly. They could add the emblem events back in and see how people engage with it. I think that would be good for the game. If they don't improve the way new players get cards, I can see the player base exponentially decreasing. It's tough to catch up. Well, I mean, credit where credit is due. Pokemon Pocket's immense amount of power creep means that the fact that you can't get a lot of the older cards right away matters a lot less, yeah? The rate that this game... We were just talking about how not relevant most of the earlier series cards are. Oh, I messed up, chat. I shouldn't have used that Pokeball. We drew the Morlul, so I should have held that Pokeball for. Well, I guess that's a punish for it. Oh. About to get cooked by Osiris. The relevant cards from Genetic Apex that are Pokemon are Greninja. I think is still solidly like B tier playable. Baby Gengar is like C tier playable. And then like Magneton kind of, but even Magnezone is pretty much largely fallen off. I'm gonna burn the candy because it gets cards out of my hand tier, and it means my Crobat's at full health and can't be Cyrus, which is ideal. Even Farfetch'd has been largely pushed out, and that card was my baby. This Golbat, technically. Oh my goodness, that's such a good draw. Holy. Are they cooked? I think they're cooked to the second Gold Crobat shit. And then we go second energy Arceus, swap these so the 70 HP one is lead. We need a basic. We will need a basic to clear the Buzzwole, yeah. Could part of the reason that you don't see older cards in the metagame be that people just want to play with new cards? That's not true in tournament settings, J Turbo Banana. If the old cards were really good and strong, they would still be showing up in tournaments. Like Darkrai Giratina, for example, is a deck that still shows up in tournaments, but you see less of it on the ladder because the ladder is biased more towards new shiny stuff. That's so unfortunate that we break the basic here. Dead Sabrina now. Oh, I guess we're technically not dead on board to Sabrina. I need another Celesteela or cheap thing to switch with. Hey, Liam, thank you for the 13 months. Appreciate that. Welcome back. Are they dead? Looking like they're dead. Cyrus is lethal, so is a basic. Gengar, being one of the few Pokemon from the first expansion that still sees play, has big, sometimes the bottom feeders rise to the top energy. That's such a good way to put it. I want to make it very clear, chat, and this is something that I think it's really important for folks to understand, because I know we've been talking about burnout a little bit with Pocket. Most of the people pouring piles of money into this game are probably never touching ranked. I think if absolutely every person who's grinding ranked in this game stopped playing Pokemon Pocket and stopped spending money on it tomorrow, this game would still be making 8 figures a month for the foreseeable future. Pocket is the first card game to hit $1 billion in revenue with a B in half a year thereabouts. Not because of the gameplay, but because of the collecting mechanics and the IP attached to the collecting mechanics. It's just like when I talk about content metrics and like Twitch viewer counts and YouTube views being down for the Pocket content as a whole, my own included. That doesn't mean the game is dying. Like, this game by no means lives or dies by its content creators. And in fact, from a content creator perspective, the content space for this game is much smaller than most other games I've played. Even at the very peak when this game was most popular for content, the numbers its content was hitting then were much lower than things like Marvel Snap and a lot of other card games. So by no means is Pocket a game that's going to live or die by people making videos or not for it, or people grinding ranked, etc. There's also a very low on the time you need to invest to collect. I'm not too motivated to play the game, but it's less than 5 minutes to keep collecting. Yeah, exactly that. And that's something I talked about being a positive for Pocket since the very start of the game, right? Like, Pocket is not like Marvel Snap, where if you're no longer enjoying Marvel Snap, you have to do 30 to 45 minutes of chores a day to collect all your free rewards. With Pocket, if you're not super into the gameplay, you can log in for 60 seconds or 90 seconds, or however long it takes your phone to load the app, and still engage with the collection aspect of the game. And I think that's a really good thing for the game long term, is because one of the ways games lose players permanently, like Snap, is when they stop playing, they stop collecting, right? Because you have to play to collect. And Pocket, disconnecting those two aspects is really smart. Yeah, that's a good call out from Darkrit in chat there. That's not something that's exclusive to. It's not something that's exclusive to card games, gacha games in general, loot box games. Like I played Raid Shadow Legends daily for a very long time. And the reason why I eventually stopped playing it was in large part due to the fact that there's just so many chores in it. Man. I think I'm supposed to just hit them with Shinnoktic here. That's close, though. Really need to draw an Arceus. Snap wasn't bad at the start, but the stickiness they've added to it turned me off. What do you mean, Martian? Because Marvel Snap's daily chores have basically remained the same throughout the game's lifespan. I guess there's limited time events that happen for a week out of the month, but other than that, they haven't really added anything. 66% to be Arceus. Alliance missions. That's fair. Alliance. I don't know that it's. I don't know that I agree with the idea that Alliance missions added more time to the game so much as they dictated you had to play the game in a particular way. Especially with the changes they've done to Alliance missions over the last like 3 to 6 months. I definitely agree that they tell you how to play the game more, but it doesn't really take more time. You're really selling me. I think this deck is very solid. This deck is the biggest combination of interesting gameplay decisions to power level that I have experienced in the current metagame. See, I will say, I think that attitude or framing is really interesting from someone who's playing Pokemon Pocket. I haven't logged into Snap in 6 months because I was so far behind, I didn't think I'd ever catch up, and I was behind and then I'd quit. So, are you going to quit Pocket for the same reason then? Because Pocket, it's even harder to get specific cards that you want from the current expansion. I guess maybe with Pocket, if you're happy getting everything once it's a month old and often no longer meta relevant, that's fine. But generally speaking, I think it's much easier to get the cards you actually want to play with in Snap than Pocket. Especially after their recent economy rework. But even before the recent economy rework, I think that was still true. Hey, Chatty P, thanks for the brand new Prime. I appreciate it. Yeah, the psychological aspect of these systems is so interesting. They pay people large amounts of money to figure out how to optimally manipulate people. Speaking of optimally manipulating people, I honestly feel like their ladder system just like so inoptimally manipulates me, right? Because like I hit this point and like I kind of have to do an expected value proposition from here, right? What does this rank season run through? When does it end? Does it tell me in here when it ends? Until 6/23. So I have 11 days. I have less than 2 weeks. And in theory, there's Marvel Snap drops going on next week, right? So I'm probably not going to be able to get a bunch of days in. So, like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get 224 points in, like, 10 to 12 hours of gameplay, even if I sit here and only play this. And if I queue one more game here and I lose it, I get less prizes if I don't end up battling it back, right? You go back down to Ultra 1. Yeah, but the distance between Ultra 1 and Ultra 2 is shorter than the distance between Ultra 4 and Masters, right? Never mind. What are my stats for this season? Yeah, look at our lovely 40. This was easily the most brutal season for brewing this game has ever had for me. Just felt consistently very punished for trying to play anything that was remotely off meta. In fact, I didn't look at this number earlier. I bet before we started playing Zera Aura Sil Valley and this Crobat deck, I bet this number was as low as like 44 or 45%. We did basically nothing but lose trying to figure out what to do. I think this deck is very good. If you're someone who has time to grind and you have 20 hours or 40 hours or whatever it's going to take you to get to Masters, we had a very good win rate with this deck. And I think the play patterns are super interesting and fun. This is easily the most competitive and interesting off-meta deck that I've played during this current expansion. Crobat's been a pet card of mine since it dropped. Shinoctic, making it more consistent, feels really good. The free retreat costs and the Bob and Weave and Arceus as a big finisher. Use every bit of the Buffalo in this deck. I'm really happy with all 20 of these cards. I wouldn't swap any of them. It's very, very reasonable. Well, so you can't really draw a comparison between your win rate in the first season and your win rate in subsequent seasons if you climbed up, because your win rate in the first season included you playing into a lot of less invested players in Pokeball and Great Ball, and then Ultra 1 and Ultra 2 as well. Whereas, like, so if you got to Masters the first season, your win rate was inflated from playing against people in those lower ranks, right? So, and I know this is not what people want to hear, but like, your win rate in the second season is a lot closer to your second win rate. And did you see the reactions to people in chat when I posted up and showed you that my win rate was shit here? And I'm sure there'll be some people that'll use this as a metric to be like, Jeff's really bad at this game. But all this really does is reinforce how bad ladder systems are for innovating in card games. Because the only way you can figure out new decks that could potentially be good is to play a bunch of stuff and lose a bunch and figure out what works and what doesn't. Ladder systems like this, especially with your win rate in your face, encourage you to pick up the stock meta deck and just play that. Because if you could get a 53 or 54 or 55% win rate playing Buzzwole, but you could find a 56 or 57% win rate deck that's better, but you have to lose 100 games to find it, you're still just better off playing the stock deck rather than losing 100 games first, right? This is what you have to be willing to do. These numbers go up type systems that make you feel really punished for every game that you lose means that innovation gets stifled because you have to be willing to fail to innovate. It's just how it is. All right, I think we're gonna kick on over to, do you think there would be more innovative decks if we didn't have ranked? I think Pocket having a tournament scene still helps with that a little bit because tournaments aren't punishing in the same way. You could just forget your losses there and move on to the next one. But yeah, I think in general, the emblem events that Pocket did previously, the 30 win and the win streak ones, those were much better environments for encouraging people to innovate. How likely is it that the first rank account is being piloted 24/7 by multiple people? I actually have a spreadsheet. Let's hold on. Let's look at that. Let me pull that spreadsheet up here. Actually, we can do. If you want to see what the time investment is here, and we can make an estimate for whether or not we think it's one person or multiple people account sharing. Where was it? So this has some numbers in it. Let's put myself over. Oh, wait, I could do this. See, would be better. Does Pocket have no TOS against account sharing? It absolutely does, but that also won't stop people. 29.99. So they're at 29.99. So at 29.99, let's assume they're a god, and let's assume they're a god gamer. Let's assume they have a 65% win rate, and let's assume they're playing a fast deck and their average game takes 7 minutes. At a 65% win rate, it would take them expected games between ranks. It would take them 517 games after getting to Masters to get to there. With an additional 99. That's actually isn't that long. But these numbers go up very quickly as these metrics get worse, right? So like let's say you're a 60% win rate. If you're at a 60% win rate, you're 140 hours past Masters. Let's say you're playing 10-minute games instead of 7-minute games. You're 200 hours past Masters. So like the amount of this is realistically a single human being could be doing this. But I guess since the rank season started, 200 hours since the rank season. When did this rank season start? The start time's in here, yeah? So it started on the 30th. So that would be 200 hours in 2 weeks, plus the time to get back to Masters. So the time to go from Ultra 3 back to Masters here would have been 23 hours. So this would be 220 hours in 13 days. 13 days is 24 hours is 312 hours. Okay, so they're either multiple people playing or their stats are better than this. At a 65% win rate and 10-minute games, it's 160 hours, which is still half of the waking hours that would have been. So, yeah. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, gamers. There's a lot of people playing a lot of games. All right, if you want more Pocket content from me, I talked about how This Crobat deck was one of my best performing to get me up to where we wanted to be in Ultra 4. The other one was the Zeraora Sill Valley deck. There's a highlight with the Zeraora Sill Valley deck that posted this morning on the Hooglandia Pocket YouTube channel. Check that out and leave it a thumbs up if you enjoy my stuff. We are going to kick on over to snapping here on the Twitch side, and we'll be switching the YouTube stream over to the Jeff Hoogland channel for that. Pokemon gamers, there will be another deck highlight tomorrow. However, I will not be live. I actually haven't mentioned that yet. I'm going to be taking tomorrow off is my plan. The boys have been at Scout Day Camp all week, and I'm gonna go out there with them for their last day as a volunteer. All right, have an advert while I get things switched over, Twitchers.